Hello. Hi. Today is Friday, right? Yes. Yes. Today is Friday. It's Friday. Excuse me. As you can see, the packing has begun. So, today I'm going to do the thing that I do when there's a transit sometimes. And this time we're going to look at the sun moving into Cancer. So it'll be three cards from Taurus Gemini, from Gemini season, a card for the intro to Taurus season, to Cancer season, and then three cards for Cancer season. And we'll see what's up. Personally, I feel like I'm basically in the middle of a whirlwind. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I feel like I'm at this point in my life where it's like the healing and the changes and the transformations are starting to catch up to who I am. And so there's a lot of stuff that like I could just do that I'm not necessarily excited about. But sometimes I'll find something that's a little out there and I'm like, oh, that's like really exciting. Like that's what I want to do. And I guess last night I kind of had one of those moments. Not unsurprisingly, I had one of those moments surprisingly, especially because I was just talking about everything that I was talking about. And then it was like, bam. And I'm like, oh, well, there that is. Okay. And now I guess I'm just here flowing and floating and packing because that's what I need to do now. So, the Magus and the Hierophant. Excuse me, the Magus and the Holy See. Let's get this started, shall we? That was the Shining Flame. All right. Oh, wow. Jupiter and Gemini did happen. The Captor. Gemini season. The Eight of Cups just. I'll take it. It revealed itself, and I was going to put it back, but we're at 8-8. Jupiter and Gemini square Saturn and Pisces. We already looked at the Capricorn full moons. The Five of Wands contender revealed itself, but it flipped back over. We have the Ten of Swords destroyer with the Outlaw. Again, it's this Gemini, Pisces, Sun and Gemini, Pisces energy. This feels like something that like leaked out. The eight, like this is giving something that was withheld or something that was deeply internal that was leaking out. But it's almost like it leaked out of a healed wound. Bottom of the deck is the sharpshooter. Mercury and Sagittarius. This is opposing the Gemini energy, also squaring that Pisces energy. This is all mutable energy, interestingly enough. This is almost the energy of like The crack is where the light enters, or where the, like in the broken heart, but it's like the light is going out instead of it coming in. And it's pouring out of these old wounds. This may be fairly short, which is fine. Because that's what it feels like Gemini season. Either that or it maybe reminded us of things that we still need to heal. The first thing that Cancer season is bringing is the healer and the Hierophant, with the rogue, Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Eight of Wands, Seven of Swords, the Star, and the Hierophant. This is Taurus Aquarius. So we're moving from all this mutable energy. And again, there's more fixed energy, more Aquarius, Moon in Aquarius. We're moving from all this mutable energy to fixed energy. Now, mutable energy in Gemini season, it's not completely unexpected. This is feeling like a return. Almost something like a return on investment. Maybe a return on the investment that we made within ourselves. Gifts of the Spirit and Master of the Arcanes. Oh, look. There's the light that's like pouring out in this outlaw. What was in Pisces? Saturn. So in Gemini, for a lot of Gemini season, we had Venus, Mercury, and the Sun. Venus and Mercury just transited into Cancer. In Pisces, we had Saturn and Neptune. Sagittarius would have held the moon. Like, I think that's the only thing that would have passed through Sagittarius. The Eight of Cups sits in the position of the Nine of Swords. Because it's Eight of Swords, Eight of Cups, 10 of Swords. So it's almost like, because with the Nine of Swords, there's something that's almost like being, the Nine of Swords sees what the Eight of Swords was blind to, but it doesn't necessarily resolve it. And so that's where like the sleepless nights and anxiety and worry sort of stems from, because it sees, but it doesn't necessarily have a solution. It doesn't necessarily move, but something about the Eight of Cups being here, this is like something that's done. This is internal resolution with the Eight of Cups being here. So we became okay within ourselves, or we got clear on something within ourselves. And maybe when that happened, either there were things that we put an end to in our lives, or there were certain endings that we accepted. Maybe it's like there was something that we thought would work in it that we realized that it doesn't. It doesn't, or it didn't. And this Ten of Swords, it's like allowing that chapter to come to a close. But again, there's something that the closing of that chapter opens up. Like this almost feels like it could be an energetic alignment. Or it can result in one. It's like these swords, as they stab through the physical body, they end up opening up those energetic sort of portals, those energetic centers and pathways. And so maybe Cancer season, maybe the light of that outlaw calls for, attracts, manifests certain things. And Cancer season is the beginning of Cancer season, the intro into Cancer season is the closing of those wounds, the filling of those gaps. Like there was something that we had to allow to be open for it to breathe. And now it's like this divine light is coming in to fill those gaps. Now, this looks very similar to the eye of the outlaw. Eye of the outlaw here, and this up here. Cool. I'm watching this show. Hey, David, how you doing tonight? I'm watching this show. It's a new show I just started. You just started a new show between going live and needing to pack up? Yeah, I did. Okay. Um, I started watching this new show. It's an anime, and there's this guy that has the power to like revive people and heal people. And there are like these allies, I guess, that this guy has, and they're like getting like beat up. Some of them are like being taken to the brink of death and dying before he shows up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, could you not like show up before they got to this point? Like, I know that you can resurrect them and they know that they can be resurrected by you, but still, like, doesn't the pain of going, like, I don't know. I don't think, I mean, because the Seven of Swords is here, and it feels like this one watching in the back would be the one that has the power to resurrect. So this would be the allies of this guy. Those would be the bad guys in the show that do whatever. Now, I'm inclined to say that it's like before, uh, well, maybe not before, because this is only seven swords. So maybe it's like while something was happening, or as something is happening, there is another thing that is simultaneously happening behind the scenes. Something that this sleeping giant's not aware of. Interesting. Mm. And the force. 7-8. See, this is almost like while this person is sleeping, while this person is sleeping, this is what's happening. Because even the lion's eyes are closed. And again, we don't have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords, I mean, I guess they're awake in bed. Maybe that's why, like, it feels like there's this light that pours out of the wound. Because that's happening while someone is sleeping. Or because that, like, there's a fill up that's happening. Interesting. Let's see. There's, of course, at the bottom of the deck still. I could pull before and after. Maybe it's too early. Let's come over here. What would this be? So behind the scenes, subconsciously, there is something happening that when there is a disturbance, it shows. Now, again, the beginning of Cancer season feels like those wounds are starting to close. And the divine is showing up in some way, or there's like a conversation with the divine that's happening in some way. The conversation with the divine could be like, so there was something again, Gemini season and prior, that we're going through that we work through some kind of acceptance on. Right. And it happens internally. And then, so like the beginnings of Cancer season could be something that reveals why that was happening, or it's something that can take root and really progress and grow because it had happened. And that's like this conversation with the divine. This is like figuring out why this was happening as it was trying to liberate this. So that's what I can look around. I'm going to pull before and after the Eight of Swords, the Captor, and the Vitruvian. Ooh. Almost like a reset, turn it off and turn it on again. It's almost like in Teen Wolf, the MTV show. If they had suffered a wound that wasn't healing, they would injure themselves to trigger their body's healing process. And then it would heal the wound. Is this at the top of that deck? Here we go. The Herald of the Winds, Ventures of the Dauntless, the Captor, and the Kindred. On either side, we have the Lovers and the Archangel of Mysteries, angel who illuminates the shadows and the mystery of the covenant. And I feel like we've seen these two together. Because the Archangel of Mysteries would reveal the mystery of that covenant, or would at least know the mystery of the covenant. This was before, this was after. Did I already show you the cards? I'm pretty sure I did. This is like pre-contextual. It feels very pre-contextual. The pages in this deck come with messages. And we can see this page. It's almost like they've just arrived from this carriage. And they're presenting this letter. The Three of Cups in this deck, the threes are about, I guess you could say prophecy. Hydromancy, pyromancy, geomancy, and aeromancy. Now, the Three of Wands, the politic, is three divine masculine energies that come together in search of a prophecy, a single prophecy, and they all have their own sort of lens and view on that one prophecy. With the Three of Cups, it's three divine feminine priestess energies that come together to gaze into these waters, and they each receive their own vision. So it's almost like part of Gemini season was to give you some kind of clarity, or was to put you in a position to empower you and enable you to be able to see or interpret something clearly. Now, it's feeling a little bit more like clear feeling and clear emotion. And maybe that's where some of this resolution within the self comes in, so that you will have still waters as an image appears, or so that you'll be emotionally clear, clean, healed enough to like be present in something, or to listen to something, or to receive something, and not be triggered into missing out, I guess, or misinterpreting. Cancer season, the seeker, spirit in search of science. The hallowed flame, Ace of Scepters, the awakening. I feel like it's not a coincidence that one of the first things we see, that little like island shrine thing, and then Cancer season overall, it's like this is that shrine. It's almost like this is the inside of that back there. It's almost giving me like Zelda or any other game where there's this area that's inaccessible, and then there's like a great flood, or there's a lot of water that comes into an area that's been dry. And when the water level rises high enough, then passage like opens up to this back here, to another area. The hollowed flame, the awakening. That's almost giving me the energy. It was a while ago. I think it was in the Dungeons and Dragons Magic the Gathering booster pack. There was the Hermit's Lantern. It was that light, and it felt like the light. It was like Iron Man, or a robot type thing, where like there's a light in the core, and then the eyes like glow the same color. Which is interesting because there's a lot of talk about sources in this show that I just started watching, and it being like the core of one's being. This is something at the core of someone awakening. Now I'm like, because of these wounds, because there was an energy of like light streaming out of these wounds, out of these healed wounds or whatever. I wonder if it's that. Almost like some kind of Lazarus type energy. Not like literally Lazarus. Right? Um, but like let's say that this person down here is like all stabbed up. And then like light begins to pour out of these wounds, like bursting, beaming out of these wounds. And then the wounds heal and the person like gets up. And maybe their eyes are a little glowy for a little bit because they're so full of this energy. But it's like it's because the core came online that it gives the body new life or something like that. The demon is at the bottom of the deck. This is like a missing core. It's missing that Ace of Cups. But when it's present, like that would be, it's like if all of this up here was to find an Ace of Cups and to allow it to, like, to assemble the gauntlet and then to put it in the place it belongs. And when the cup gets in there, that's when this energy starts to stream out and like fill the vessel. That's this awakening. That's what it feels like. I'm going to look before and after the Ace of Cups. The Tower is at the bottom of the deck. Material and spiritual colliding. We have the Corruptor and the Angel. 7 and 14. Oh, look, it's pouring the water. This is almost like a setup. Because it's like the healer created this pool of water as one of the first, as part of the introductory Cancerian energies. And then one of the last card that came out for Cancer season is like putting a foot in that pool of water that was created up here to do something up here. This would be like refilling someone's internal sacred pool. The Corruptor here with the Angel. Oh, look, we also see the axe of Shiva. That same axe here. The axe that removes corruption. That's weird. Under the Tower is Apocalypse. So, Last Judgment, material and spiritual colliding. With very similar, like if you look at the background, it looks like this. Oh, look, and that's a very similar pair of hands. It looks like this Last Judgment is taking place within the same sort of island shrine type place. Mercury and Sagittarius, 8 of Wands. I was like, didn't we see Sagittarius? We did. Sagittarius and Mars. I want to look before and after the Ace of Cups. Up here. This is all of the eights. Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups came out. Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. All of this mutable energy. I want to keep these in order, so. Okay. So under these two eights, the sharpshooter and the journeyman, we actually have the wheel of life, the healer, and the initiate. So again, like in that Seven of Swords energy, someone was initiated in their sleep during Gemini season. That's why they show up as the seeker, or that's why they're sitting in the energy of the seeker during Cancer season. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because that energy would be working internally if it's like pouring out of the body. You know what I mean? Kirsty today. I feel like it's been, well, not that long. It's been a few days. What was happening as we were living our lives and doing our best internally. Oh, see, look. Like this even feels like the same lotus. That this healer, like that's when it was like a tiny little itty bitty lotus. And then here it is like, and there's so much more water. Again, like there's enough water here now to grant access to that island shrine. But here, there wasn't enough water to like form this little passageway. Like somebody left the faucet on. The faucet's been left on. And it feels like it could remain on because of whatever this acceptance was shown by the defector. Again, we get this Eight of Cups instead of the Nine of Swords. So it was left on that whole time. And then it caused like a surge. It's almost like, it's like when you fill a water balloon. I haven't done it in real life, but it's like one of those videos where there's a balloon full of water and then somebody they'll poke it with a pin and pull it out. And instead of bursting the balloon, there'll just be a stream of water that comes out of the balloon. It doesn't burst. Cool. All right, let's find that Ace of. Here, I was trying to pick up the cards. We have title card in the Apocalypse. What's on the other side? The High Priestess. This is 220. The only two that's missing is Justice. The High Priestess, the title card, and Apocalypse. That is so interesting. All right, let's keep looking for that Ace of Cups. Oh, there it is. Well, guess what the Ace of Cups is with? So before, all right. Well, there's our Archangel Commander. So it's New World Order, Archangel Commander, and the Dynasty. 10 of Pentacles. And then it's the Necromancer, Holy Water, and the Tower. The Ace of Cups is next to the Tower. Surprise, surprise. And then it's the ivory shield, the archangel of mysteries, the vagabond, the warrior. Mostly these two, the ivory shield and the archangel of mysteries. That's the BTFU, STFU, mind your business queen, because of that title card, the high priestess and the title card with this apocalypse here. Now the energy of this angel is almost like, because something has been done in the dark, something can come to the light. Because there was this internal whatever that we worked on. Now, excuse me, there can be that light. And again, we don't necessarily see, you see the light behind there. I don't think we necessarily see that same light in this apocalypse card. No, we don't. And that apocalypse card, there's like the fire and brimstone. Well, it's not actually fire and brimstone. It's like people rising from the dead. But for some reason, it was like looking like fire to me, and they looked like they were on fire. But in the apocalypse card under the tower here, we see the light, these streams of light from the outlaw, confirmed, verified by the Hierophant. And again, we see the forces of the light and the dark. There's the moon up there and the sun up here. And that's at the bottom of this deck. Cool. What does it mean? I don't know. Well, yeah. Take it as it resonates. It may mean different things for different people. Now we have a mixture of fixed and mutable energy. Where's the cardinal energy? Huh? Oh, the Three of Cups is up here. Oh, Cancer. This is the first decan of Cancer, too. I didn't even notice that. No, it's the second dancer. The second decan of Cancer, sorry. So this would almost be the space of the Cancer new moon, because it's the second decan. The first decan of Cancer is actually down here under Apocalypse, the Two of Cups. Anyway. And now the Reaper has remained on the table. The Ace of Cups is sitting in the position, Holy Water is sitting in the position of the healer. 16, Holy Water, 18. Just like the Eight of Cups was sitting in the position of the Nine of Swords, because it was Eight of Swords, Eight of Cups, 10 of Swords. Now, I'm not surprised, because in this Ace of Chalices, you can see the flood beginning to happen. It's like the fountain is turned on, and now it's like filling this pool down here. When it spills over, where was the other healer? When it spills over, that's when it goes from this. Because again, like you can see the land and the grass and everything to this. where it's like flooded, where it's all water. And that's 17, the healer. There's that Pisces energy again. Mars in Pisces. Mars has been out of Pisces for a minute now. I don't remember when Mars moved into Aries, but it was a while ago. Mars is about to move into Gemini if it's not a Gemini already. Interesting. This was the bottom of the deck. 8 of Wands was, I remember. And again, because the moon is here, because the moon is here, again, it feels like something that we may not necessarily have like been super conscious of, something that we may not necessarily have known about. We have this, again, material and spiritual colliding. Didn't we see that card? Was it the King of Diamonds in the Diceology? A bell that brings the intangible and tangible into harmony as it chimes into the universe or something like that. Collision or cohesion. There's something weird here because maybe this is the key. Because in this tower, there's this like portal that's open. And again, in this judgment, or in this apocalypse last judgment, we have this light that came out in the outlaw that we see in the Hierophant. And it's like these worlds are connected. And this tower is happening almost in both. I don't know if they're simultaneous. I don't know if they necessarily, I don't think they necessarily have to be. But it's like, because like there's this volcano that's exploding back here. And then there's this portal to this like parallel world type thing that's open here. It's almost like one of these towers is in the material, one of these towers is in the spiritual. And when they both fall at the same time, it may not even be at the same time. It is one of those like parallel world type things where, like, because here in this world, we can see the lightning bolt strike the tower, creating this hole. We don't see the lightning bolt over here, but we see the hole. It's like the hole is created over here, even though the lightning bolt happened there. And that's because as this portal opens, it's like it connects these two worlds, these two realities like overlap or something like that. And I guess, I mean, the necromancer, gateway of resurrection. Maybe instead of resurrection, it's just the gateway. there's a gateway that's open when this tower, there's a gateway that's open. This is happening. And maybe it's again because there's enough water in this fountain to power something. There's enough of that energy that streams out of, or that has been streaming out of you since Gemini season, apparently, in the background. Like you've been bridging, or you've been fueling a bridge. It's like with the Bifrost bridge, at least in the, okay, it's been a minute since I saw any of those Marvel movies, and I didn't really necessarily fully watch them all the way through, besides the first Avengers, the first Captain America, and those were probably the only two because I went to the theaters to see them when I was visiting my dad. But it's like there's something that powers the Bifrost Bridge, I believe. If it's not just like Heimdall or Gallarhorn or Heimdall's eyes or whatever. And it's like this is the energy that's powered that Bifrost since whatever this is has been happening in Gemini season. And because there's enough power, again, these worlds are connected. This gateway is open. And it produces effects in this world from this one. That's the internal meeting the external, the physical and spiritual colliding. It's this energy. So I guess that double energy has been keeping these separate. Oh, I shuffled the deck. I was like, I felt like I saw this card. Now I gotta go looking for it. Here it is. In between the Awaken the Brilliance, Herald of the Flame, and the Champion, Six of Wands. So yeah. And then there's the Defectorate of Cups with Toph up there. I'm pretty sure that's Toph up there in the moon. The same moon. Similar to the one that we saw. Oh my gosh. See, look. See the moon with that thingy and the dove with like Toph up there? This is the dove. This is the moon. This portal's been like opened or something. I'm starting to get like tingles. Tingles and chills. So it's almost like, oh, there it is, right? Well, it's like, so this is upside down. If we turn it, like when the double energy goes in reverse, at least it's closer. Like when the devil goes in reverse and that box is sort of like, we go out of the box. That symbol there. That's this thing happening up here. That allows, again, it's all a part of this like portal thing that's open. But anyway, it's like when that Ace of Cups is missing, then double energy is strong enough to keep these two worlds separate. And like that's the change. That's why sometimes the internal world reality doesn't match the external or whatever. But with this Ace of Cups, again, like with there being enough water and this surge of power, it snaps these chains. And then it's like double energy goes in reverse. And again, it's because this is being placed within that whatever, that the portal opens up, and then there's the bird, and then we got the two whatever. And then again on the other side is the Herald of the Flame, Awaken the Brilliance. This is so interesting. Even here, like in the bottom of the seeker, you see how it's all dark? But there's like light at the end of, there's light up here, but it's dark back here. Like this is like, and like if there were a corridor that like connected, or a bridge that connected these two worlds. And again, I guess we see it here in the angel. It's a different flower, but there is a single flower bloom that has bloomed in both of these. It only takes one to connect these worlds, to form the bridge. It's very Fringe. If you've seen Fringe, it's very Fringe. And how they built a bridge between the two worlds that was powered by a certain individual. Cool. This is so interesting. I wonder, because again, it feels like these things are just lining up in a way, like coinciding, happening at the same time, again, because they're connected. And that's why in the Seven of Swords, this person was asleep. Because while before these were connected, up to the point, up to a certain point, as they're connecting, it's asleep in one world but awake in the other. But again, while devil energy holds those chains, it's asleep in one world and awake in the other. While devil energy is holding those chains, it keeps them separate. So again, it's like when the bridge is open and they're connected, a change in one simultaneously, almost in a very quantum type way, but a change in one simultaneously produces a change in the other, even without the stimulus. Now, this, there we go. This happened in both worlds. You see, those both got struck by both of the bolts on the left side. But on the right side, it only got struck over here, but the hole still appears here. So there are certain things that like still coincide. It's like the timelines are mostly similar type energy, but there's something different. It feels like this again, it's as the chains are broken and these two start to like merge on top of one another. Cool. This is interesting. And now I'm looking at this Herald of the Winds, like this is so interesting. How does this play out, girl? Let's say that there is something that you have been manifesting, but you self-sabotage your manifestations in some way, or there's something that prevents you from fully exercising the power that resides in the spark of the divine that you were created in. Let's say it's linked to devil energy while it's still holding some kind of reins. When you empower the self, surge that energy, and break the chains of the devil, you're standing in that sovereignty. I'll put it in quotes. You're standing in that sovereignty that will speak something and it has to happen. Or it's much, much, much more likely to occur. But again, it's because of something that was resolved within the self when it came to the Eight of Swords and Ten of Swords. But again, it feels like letting the Ten of Swords happen. It's a realignment in the most, not necessarily the most bizarre of ways. Because I'm sure there are more bizarre ways, ways. But what's in Sag now? I don't think anything is still in Sag. Hey, Ollie. I'm glad you made it home. Safe and sound. Is there anything else that I'm curious about? And again, it was a apocalypse / judgment. It was the High Priestess, the title card, and apocalypse / judgment up here. And the last judgment is here with the tower here. And again, there's like this light that's here from the outlaw up here. So here's this, and I guess maybe that's why, maybe I shouldn't be surprised that it's like Neptunian, Piscean energy, because Pisces is 12th house energy connected to the great beyond and the collective unconscious, subconscious. That's what I got. I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm curious about this. Let's get a message up here. It's almost making me think of the Mystical Medleys Tarot with the red and black flags that were like subtly turning green with the Seven of Swords, but also the Mother of Earth that came out with the tiny little butterfly, and the Mother of Swords that came out with the owl. And it was like in very, very easy to miss, very subtle ways things are changing. What's the message of this? I was going to leave it as is, but I'm just like curious now. I'll give it 3 more. If nothing comes out or flips over, I'll honor it. Y'all remember when this card kept coming out? Didn't I do a reading? I don't remember it. Looking at the Chariot, and I was like, why does the Chariot keep coming out? The Chariot flipped over as the message for up here. So I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that to try to get a clue. Maybe it's like in Cancer season or when Cancer energy happens. Because again, like this, I placed, this was after or before. It was before the Captor. And I put it up here on this one to like clarify it or to try to find the bridge between then and now. And now it's like the Chariot of Osiris. Now, if you saw Reem's burial video, Osiris came out in it, divine masculine. Could just be Cancer season. Again, that Chariot kept coming out a minute ago. And I was finally like, I came up with a way to see what all this Chariot energy is about. I'm going to have to rewatch it. I don't even know if I titled it Chariot. Hopefully, I might have. I may have. It does not look like it. Darn it. Maybe Cancer? Doesn't look like it. Man, darn it. What day was that? I feel like I was at the gym or something. I don't know. It's fine. I might go back and try to find it. The Chariot. See, but again, I'm like, Devil Energy had it separated. But in the Chariot, both sphinxes are connected to the Chariot of Osiris. So again, it's like these two things that were almost co-created to lay on top of each other that have been separate. Whatever kept them separate is dissolving. And in this Chariot, there is no chain. There are no chains that connect the sphinxes to the Chariot of Osiris. It is the will of the charioteer that keeps them on the same page. It's like two halves of the same world, or two halves that make up the same universe. Spiritual and physical colliding. Now they're going to come together. And I wonder if that's very similar to, I think it was at the end of the signs, because it was the day I used the it was yes, I can either post it in the comments or maybe I'll make a community post if I find it. If I actually go and look. But I will. I just lost my train of thought. Material and spiritual. Oh, it was like when it was reflective truth and emergence, I think. Or was it reflective truth and illumination? It was like when these two things come together and then they're simultaneously, like when they come together, it emerges into this third world. And again, like we see the Three of Cups here. Like there's this side and that side, but when they collide, there's this separate third cup up here. Maybe it'll be a context to put maybe it'll be like a context within the self that makes sense out of all of the stuff that was going on during the first half of the year. Honestly. We are now at the summer solstice. Or with the Gemini season. Now the bottom of the deck is the Outlaw. I guess. Yeah, when I was shuffling and asking for the message, now the bottom is the Outlaw. And again, the Outlaw exists in this realm of water. Again, the light of the Outlaw, the energy that pours forth from the wounds of the Outlaw, the light that bursts forth. Maybe it is the carrier of that water too, because we see all the water here. Maybe this is where the well of holy water, the Ace of Cups, draws from. That is the realm from which all water flows. Under the Outlaw is the Ivory Shield. In the Ivory Shield, you see the fountain of the Ace of the holy water in the back. The Ivory Shield is also, again, she's my BTFU, STFU, mind your business queen. I feel like I saw her here somewhere, right? Didn't we see her? Oh, yeah. She was with the Archangel of Mysteries. This had to be after the tower. I think so. Because there was New World Order and the Archangel Commander. But it feels like her shield could seal the fountain. There's a show that I'm watching. In that show, they can travel in between. In that show, there's a world that exists between all the other worlds. And the portal to the worlds are fountains. Well, when magic gets cut off, they seal all of the fountains. So, like, this would be the seal for the fountain, but the seal's been removed, and she's now presenting that cup. She could be you, because that's the cup that gets placed in the chest of the demon that breaks the chains. So, in a way, it's also connected to Leo. I thought that when I went looking for holy water too, because that was a big part of Leo's reading. The Ace of Chalices, but anyway. Cool. I don't know what this is going to mean. Maybe again, it's very important. Whatever happened internally to allow for this process to happen, it's important to maintain whatever that is, because that'll be the mirror that will be the mirror to the axe that removes all corruption. That's going to be what makes these viable. And then in this edition, you can see the lighthouse that now calls out because the corruption has been removed. But that same lighthouse isn't present in the Vitruvian edition because there was no axe to remove the corruption. It's like it was almost impossible to dock wherever. Where's the star? Where's the healer? Because we see that in discard. There it is. It's right there. Now here, there's like the lighthouse. Or there's a light that's activated there. It's like it's that thing. But before the water, before the power, of course, if there's no power, then the light wouldn't work. So that's why it's not lit there. Okay, cool. I feel like at this point, I'm just like repeating. Bates, I will show you. I don't even know if I've seen the Seven of Chalices. See, there's no little lighthouse here. There's no axe of Shiva that removes corruption. It's just a corruptor. But down here, the light is on, the axe is there. It's like that's why it's important. Because otherwise, it's not going to be there. So let's get final cards. It's been an hour. Oh my gosh, that means it's after midnight. I need to get some sleep. I need to go to bed. That's so interesting. I wonder what it means. Oh. I just put that back on top of the Priestess, Sanctuary of Isis. And then there was the Minor High Priestess, Two of Swords. Such an interesting time. I don't know. The queen of BTSU, STFU, and mind your business is like, she's lowering the shield. She is unblocking the fountains. The bridges are open. The power is on. The waters are flowing. The waters are more than flowing. And cool. All right, final card, SKT Vitruvian. Ooh. Final card, SKT Vitruvian. Final card, SKT VIRTRUVIAN. The Conservator and the Ebony Shield. Again, the Conservator is the protector. The Ebony Shield, especially this Ebony Shield, she's my Temptress card. She is the one that will tempt somebody. She almost plays devil's advocate, I guess. It's like she almost plays the role of devil energy. She seems similar to devil energy, but again, it's like she tempts those away who would not use a certain power responsibly, or who don't have, I don't want to say who don't have integrity. It's almost like in the vein of absolute power corrupts absolutely. Opportunity makes a thief, and anything else where it's like, if you give somebody access, or if someone has power because of the dynamics because of intrapersonal human dynamics, they're almost certainly going to be twisted by that power if they have too much power or whatever. Right? So she's the one that tempts those who would misuse something away from it, basically, with the power and authority of earth. Like, if you want money, here's money. If all you're after is like money, then girl, here's some money. If all you're after is like a person, well, here's a person. And again, there's like no wrong or right, whatever. I don't think this necessarily has to be something that we tap into, especially if we don't necessarily want all of the whatever that comes with it. You know, like, let's say that you get powers of more instant manifestation where your thoughts more quickly become things, but you know that you're someone who struggles with road rage. And if you were to have instant manifestation, whatever, there would be a lot more accidents because of your road rage. Or like, if you're quick to whatever, like, of course you don't mean it in that moment. You're just upset. Would you want the burden of every time you get upset, something happens and now you can never be upset type energy? It doesn't necessarily have to be that specifically. But that's one of the things where it's like, if you don't want that level of whatever, that's perfectly fine. Like, you don't need it. I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, ultimately, she helps people get to what it is that they want. And if you don't have to drive 50 miles, run 10 kilometers, and then fly a block to get what you want, if you can just like order it delivered, then why would you go through the trouble type energy? And again, the Conservator, like, it's protected. Conservator and the Memory Keeper and the Magus is behind that. The Holy See is behind this Magus. This is 51. No, this is 15. That's devil energy. The Magus and the Holy See here. And again, it's devil energy because of just people. That's it. People being people. Not necessarily even in a bad way. Just humans humaning. All right. Oop. Revelations edition. Starting to get a little warm. I kind of wanted to eat another piece of pizza. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll eat that pizza. Okay. All right. Enough about me and the pizza in the refrigerator. The burdened one and the corrupter. With great power comes great responsibility. Was there not a guardian energy recently? Maybe not. I feel like I mentioned the Keeper of Karnak recently. Or a Keeper of Karnak type energy. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Sharpshooter. Bottom of the deck is the Chancellor. The Chancellor is justice. This is the sharpshooter who works in conjunction with the divine. There's that same flower that bloomed in the Star Healer. Yeah, and the Healer, Temperance, and the Temperance card in the Vitruvian edition, I believe. Or was that the Healer? I think it was the Healer in the Vitruvian edition. There was that one single flower that had bloomed, and it was like that flower is like the one that's, that was the star in the Vitruvian edition because it had started and ended with that flower. It was the Seeker, and it's right there. What was this one? The Angel, and then the Angel of Justice. So maybe, the Angel and the Angel of Justice. There's that same flower down there. Here we see the scales of Anubis. This is them working together. Again, it's that like material and spiritual colliding. Now it's like as something happens in one world, it also happens in the other because the chains of the devil that broke that connection have been severed and the bridge is like mending the connection. But it's Chancellor energy. It's the Angel of Justice. This power is granted divinely. But again, not surprised because the Divine Temptress is right here. For those that don't fall for the temptation, this level of collaboration will be whatever. And again, the Chariot did come out. That's both forces working together. Cool. Very, very cool. The Emperor. And the title card right there. Master of the Mystic Light is the warrior. Is the sun. Cool. That's what I got for sun transitioning into Cancer, I guess. The beginning of the dawn of the age of living your best life. Apparently. Take it as it resonates, when it resonates, if it resonates. The conditions are also here in the video. It's very conditional. Because it's that surge that comes from within. At least it reads as conditional to me. It came out as conditional to me. It ain't necessarily got to be, because I'm just the dude at the end of the day, pulling paper and plastic and ink and trying to make some sense out of it. Anyway, I hope you all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey, and what you find. And if I find that Cancer video, I will post it. And probably in a community page post. I really wish I knew what I titled it. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna pack up my desktop, but I'll still have my laptop. So after the move, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Um, I don't know where I'm going to be. I'm kind of open. I know what I want it to be. I don't know specifically, but I know like I don't know. Anyway, bye. I'm gonna go try to find this video because now I am intrigued. And again, like the chariot was coming out all the time in the most intriguing and interesting of ways and spots. And now that Cancer season is here, now that it is the time of the chariot, and we're gonna have 2 Capricorn full moons. So maybe like one Capricorn full moon is representative of one side, and the other Capricorn full moon is representative of the other side. And it's like when these worlds collide. I mean, we had 2 Capricorn full moons a few years ago. I want to say like 18, 19, 20. Maybe 19. It might have been 2019. I don't remember. I know it happened recently though, because it was on the day. I'm pretty sure it was on the day of the summer solstice. We had the full moon. No, that was 2 new moons in Cancer. I'm pretty sure that was 2 moons in Cancer, 2 new moons in Cancer, because I feel like the sun and the moon conjuncted at 0 degrees of Cancer. So we had 2 new moons that year. And now we have 2 full moons in this Cancer season. So I don't know. Anyway. So we will. Will we? Maybe. I'm sure. I don't know. I think I started the thought. I don't know if I finished it the other day. But early in my journey, I felt like it was so important to document like every process, every phase, every step of the journey. So no matter what I was feeling like, or no matter what I was going through, I felt like it was important to like go live. And I still go live fairly frequently. But I don't necessarily feel as guided or as led or as I don't feel the same responsibility now. It's I guess it's that part of the journey where like I live my life. Just in the way of like whatever some things, especially as they unfold or as I discover them, like they're for me and not necessarily for everybody. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure I'll still be here. And especially if I like notice something, then hey, but I don't know. I just don't feel the same pressure to every single time something begins to unfold or I get a dream or a line of synchronicities to like come on and share it because my journey is my journey, you know? We all heal and we all make the transition, but what we specify in, what our specific talents, gifts, and abilities are, and how the connections manifest for us individually, it may be different. So, I don't know. I told my number 1 fan, she was like, "Are you going to pack up all your cards?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "You're going to pack all of them up?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "No, you're not. You're going to go live." And I was like, "Maybe not. Maybe not until I move." And she was like, "You ain't going to keep any decks." And I was like, "Okay, maybe one. Maybe the SKT. I want to keep out the Fable Makers. I still want to get the card protectors. Still ain't got them. I know. I don't know. Yeah. Definitely need different clothing. Cannot be wearing winter clothes in the northern hemisphere right now. It is much too hot. It is much too hot. I need to go to the southern hemisphere for a little bit. Honestly. Because I'm like, I want to travel. I want to go somewhere. I don't want to go somewhere where it's hot. I want to beat the heat. Anyway, all right. I'll catch y'all later. Enough of me rambling. Bye.